the existing technologies are always changing. So there's that need to ensure that you never stop learning. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, so we start looking for work as a solutions architect or DevOps engineer. So let's talk about that briefly. So some people I have seen have chosen that they want to either switch career into tech, and they've decided that they want to become solutions architect. Maybe because they have seen some adverts or they heard of a friend or someone's friend that has gotten a job recently as a solutions architect. Or it could be that you just stumbled upon it by reading some blog post. Whatever the situation is, you made that decision. And the first thing you think about to do is to go ahead and start looking for work. Actually, I take that back. Not start looking for work, but start learning to become a solutions architect. And the first thing you get to do is to take up a course, and then you understand about the cloud and its services and all that. And then you start preparing for a certification. You go ahead, you write the certification, you pass the certification, and then you decide you want to put a CV out there and start looking for work. That is where reality sets in for a lot of people, because you go for an interview and then they start asking you questions beyond AWS, because all you've done is learned and become a very good engineer from AWS perspective. But the industry does not only use AWS. Even companies that use AWS as their only cloud provider, they don't use all the services that AWS has to offer. For CI/CD, for example, AWS have code build, code pipeline, and all that. But your organization can choose to use Git, GitLab, GitHub, and Jenkins or GitLab CI. From a secrets management perspective, AWS offers secrets management, and they may choose not to use that, but rather use HashiCorp Vault. Okay. And the example can keep on going on and on and on like that. In fact, you've only passed AWS, you probably don't even have Linux skills. So when you go for such interviews and they start asking you about your experience and you're not able to make reference to some of those things that I mentioned, it begins to question your CV and your expertise and all the claims that you may have had at that point. Because there is no way you would work with AWS and have no experience working with a few other technologies. So that's first thing. The second thing is the understanding of the role of a solutions architect in the first place. The role of a solutions architect is not a junior role. A solutions architect is not a junior person. As a matter of fact, a solutions architect is somebody that has many years of experience in IT and is able to prefer solutions. Okay? Because how can you say you can prefer solutions to a company when you haven't actually had experiences to understand the differences between possible solutions? And so you need to be hands-on yourself to be able to say, I am a solutions architect. Why do you need to be hands-on? Because a solutions architect is somebody that is able to test his solutions before he presents them to the company. And you test them through what is called proof of concept, POC. So to do a POC, you need to be able to log on to Linux servers, implement certain solutions, test that this thing is going to work, have a number of options, have option 1, option 2, option 3, and say, okay, now I'm presenting a solution. I'm going to draw the diagram and say, to build a data pipeline for this team, what we're going to need is to have an ETL solution using this technology, that technology, that technology. Because I have done a few tests using two technologies, I can tell you that technology A doesn't fit our business requirement. It is B that will fit into it. So you're able to come up with a documentation with your pros and cons, your findings, and your diagrams, and then you can prefer a solution. Now you can tell that it makes sense to have technical hands-on experience from a DevOps perspective, first of all. Let me see if I can mute that person. All right, thank you. Okay, so it makes sense to, first of all, have that hands-on experience as a DevOps engineer, because a solutions architect presents the solution and DevOps engineers implement the solution. Okay. And if you don't have experience from a hands-on perspective, how then are you able to prefer a solution and even guide your engineers? Because DevOps engineers are still going to come back to you and question your architecture. So if you don't have hands-on experience, by the time they start drilling you on questions, how are you able to defend it? Because they will ask you things like, well, we don't think this is going to work. These are my reasons. And then you can say, well, I've actually done a POC on this. It's going to work, and this is how it's going to work. You're a solutions architect. You have more experience. You're going to be able to guide them towards the implementation of it. So what I generally recommend for people is, if you do want to become a solutions architect, become a DevOps engineer first, have the skills, and then you can present yourself as a solutions architect. When you start looking for work, having gone through all of these, you can actually pass for either a DevOps engineer, SRE, cloud engineer, solutions architect, whatnot. Okay, so that is our number one sorted out for today's session.